All right, man. It is official. You are now tuned in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 seconds and counting to another live recording of No Cap with myself and KC. No Cap, you know what it stands for. If you don't know, if you are new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you share. No Cap is the knowledge and wisdom of KC and Parrish, and you are now tuned in to another live episode with KC and myself, Coach P. What's up with you, man?
Man, same old thing, different day.
Yes,
did you
sir.
watch? I know you did. I don't even know why I'm gonna ask you, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Did you watch that Raiders game today?
I did not watch the Raiders game. It was on in the office on the little iPad, so I heard some of it, but I was actually coaching and training. But I seen just now a highlight that Amanda showed me, and the boy threw a pick six, and he overthrew the tight end. He was wide open. He overthrew the tight end. The tight end could have probably went up for it a little bit more aggressively, but he was like, "Oh, that must not be to me." So he put his hand, kind of jumped, and then brought his hand down, pick six all the way to the house. Man, crazy.
First, we looked at horrible. We need a quarterback ASAP. Not now, but right now, we need one. Secondly, we need some running back. We need them expeditiously. Not now, but right now. We got to talk about it. Third off, we trading Devontae Adams' punk ass. Bye, Felicia. Get your ass up out of here. We ain't want you anyway. You're a crybaby, nigga. So now he's leaving. Fourth off, we looked at horrible. Our defense can't win every game. Fourth, we're gonna have to rely on our defense, but we shouldn't have to that much. Fifth off, damn, we look bad out there, man.
You said that 3 times.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna say it another 5 times. Damn, you had so much hope for us, man. Our running backs is garbage. Devontae Adams wanted to get traded. Damn, we just look bad.
But Devontae Adams wants to get traded for the first concern that you had, which was no quarterback.
Devontae been crying since he got here. Ever since we brought in him, and he was supposed to play with Derek Carr, he been crying since then. Ever since, see, they came in with thinking Derek Carr was good. Oh, Derek Carr, he's elite, and that nigga's not elite. He's garbage. And then.
Well, he threw for like 400 and something yards, or 300, whatever it was, like 2 weeks ago.
No, he didn't. He didn't throw for that many. I don't think so. Let me make sure. I know he threw for like 4 touchdowns.
Oh, it was something like that. But he had a QBR, pretty good QBR rating, and they won the game like 40 something. But I think they probably lost two in a row since then.
Bro, he be having like 150 yards with like 4 touchdowns.
West Coast offense.
New Orleans Saints offense. They got Chris Olave, and Raheem Shaheed. And Alvin Kamara been goddamn putting that hole. And I don't even want to say nothing about Alvin Kamara because I know how you gonna get. But
what he been doing?
He been carrying their ass.
What position he play?
Football.
Football running back. And he's been carrying their ass, like you said.
But for one good game at least, but them receivers, the Saints is a good team, but I'm telling you the team that's going to be the problem is the Atlanta Falcons. And the Minnesota Vikings. They go crazy. The Minnesota Vikings going crazy. They 5-0 right now.
Yeah.
Cowboys look horrible. Cowboys look real horrible too, because Cowboys, they got rid of Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn left the Cowboys. Remember, for the last 3 or 4 years, the Cowboys had one of the best defenses. If you remember the Atlanta Falcons, when they went to the Super Bowl, I think it was right then or right before, they had Dan Quinn, and they was a real good team. And then they fired Dan Quinn and went and got, I think, Kyle Shanahan. If you think about it, Dan Quinn left the Cowboys and became the head coach of the Commanders. The number one team in their division too. Dan went over there. That's coaching. They defense in that, So, but the Raiders, the Niners, the Cowboys,
The
There's a few.
Bengals.
The Bengals. Oh yeah, the Bengals. The Panthers. We didn't think they was gonna be good. They just got their first win. No, they didn't. Yeah, they did. And the Jaguars got the Carolina Panthers got their first win on the Raiders.
Mm.
Hey, man,
Oh
listen,
yeah,
bro.
that's when they put in
Andy Dalton.
Dalton.
Yeah, we out here looking bad, bro. My thing is don't even try to win no more games. Don't even try to win no more games because we need a quarterback. And here's the thing that the Raiders do every time, bro. We know we be ass. We do
Mm-hmm.
garbage, play trash the whole way. And then what we do is when the games don't count,
Mm-hmm.
it's time for us to be like, all right, let's just play for draft position. They start playing for morale and pride and shit. And
Yeah.
we're not gonna lose these games. We're gonna still fight to the end. No, lose. Because what they are doing is taking us out of a good draft position. Now we can't. Now we picking 13, 14, 15, 11, shit like that, where we out of space, out of position to get the quarterback that we need. We need a
Yeah.
quarterback because Gardner Minshew ain't the answer. Aiden O'Connell ain't the answer. Chris Bradley ain't the answer. Nobody on our team right now ain't the answer. Devontae Adams, that receiver, ain't the answer. Austin Eckler, I mean not Austin Eckler, Zamir White ain't the answer. Amir Abdullah ain't the answer. Alexander Madison, who the fuck ain't the answer?
Well, all these dudes is in the NFL, man, and they made it there for a reason. They have a job to do, and one of them dudes has to absolutely be the answer. Because if they not, they all in the way of an individual who probably was the answer. And so somebody there has to be the answer. They just got to step up and do what they are capable of doing at the highest level, or else they shouldn't be there.
Yeah. So, long story short, we looking like ass right now. I'm not really feeling it. I hope we don't win no more games.
This dude.
Trade Monte for a second round pick. Maybe we can get maybe if we trade him to the New York Jets, if they willing to come up off of Hassan Reddick and a
And
second round pick,
so he will go back to his original QB.
he been trying to get back, bruh. He been trying to get back to Aaron Rodgers since he
Since
left.
he left.
That's gonna lead me to my next trivia question too. How do you break up with somebody? Remember that because that's my trivia question. How you break up with? Because he's like that dude's girlfriend. But
This dude.
um, but listen, Aaron Rodgers just looks so horrible. This is it for him. My homeboy called me today. I was like, "Yo, you seen Aaron Rodgers' retirement game? Aaron Rodgers looks bad, bro. He's done. He stick a fork in him. He's done. In the words of one of my partners, you're done, son. Get your ass up out of here, man. That nigga's garbage. And
We'll see.
he ain't gonna do nothing either, bro. He getting old, bro.
But I don't know. It's yet to be seen. The season right now is still, a lot of these teams that people be talking about at this point in the season, when it comes down to the wire, we be still talking about these teams, but not in the same light. We be talking about them like, oh, they got an opportunity. Oh, they a threat. I'm not talking about the Raiders. I'm talking about, like the Jets or somebody who has potential down the line. And not that the Raiders don't, because they have potential too. Because again, this is what I be saying, that these dudes is all professional athletes. The organizations have to learn how to be top-notch organizations because they have top-notch athletes. These are the best of the best. But some of these organizations themselves are not the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? Like the organizations, when these players get to these organizations, they can name the places that are like elite from the aesthetics of the facilities, but also the quality of care that goes into the athletes, the work ethic that goes into the structure of like game planning and team meetings and all that, just the morale and environment. It's a culture. And some of these I said programs, but some of these professional places, they have strong cultures, and so they always seem to be in the hunt. And then some of these other places, they have athletes, but they don't have culture.
You know what I just thought about too, though? We always look at the players And I just had spoke on.
That's what I'm saying.
We just spoke on it when I just was
That
like,
scapegoat.
right. But the real thing is coaching. Coaching is super vital. I was just at my little nephew football game
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. I like to go watch. You know, they 7-year-olds. So
Yeah.
I'm talking about this. They was playing a Buford, but Buford.
Yeah.
I don't even want to call him a linebacker. I'm gonna call him the whole team. He had. I think he released about 23. He got to be. I think I seen him in the.
Years of age.
Yeah, he got to be biggest note I seen out there. Hey, hey, they drop him on the ground. He bounced back up. He.
Yeah.
It, what was the week before the my nephew's team, they beat a team that beat this prior team that they just lost to yesterday. They
Yeah.
beat good, and then they came out here and looked at real bad yesterday.
Yeah.
And a lot of the parents was out there yelling. And they like, yo, y'all been beating your kids down. Y'all been beating these kids down all week, really fear mongering them, right? Tell them about the big adult that's on the field, right?
Oh man.
And so the kids is out there playing with low morale, and now the score was 20-0. You know what I'm saying? The kids crying, they getting hurt, you know, but the parents is yelling at them.
This is actually one of my topics too that when we was texting back and forth, I think it was earlier today, and I was talking about the culture of parenting uh and through high school and preparing the parents preparing themselves and their kids. This is kind of exactly what I meant too, because I was gearing it more towards sports, but it's also just high school itself. So I kept it general, but this is something, and this is even in youth sports because, like you said, there were 7. One of the things I remember that I used to always hate is that if there were a team, and a lot of people do this in sports, especially with youth athletes, if there was a team that's supposed to be the good team or the big team or the whatever, they would always talk about the kids over there like, oh man, they this, oh man, we gotta play them, oh man, they got dude over there, oh man, this, that, and the third. And I used to always be like, man, I don't give a fuck. My son raw.
Right. That's how I felt.
So when we step on the field, all that y'all talking about, what they gonna do about him?
Right.
And that was always our approach. My son never had no fear or none of that, and he always, man, dominated because what you just said, the coaches is scared, the parents is scared, and then they actually breed that into the children, and then still send them out there in a way where their morale is they already defeated. So if the dude do one play well or they score one time, they are, oh, here we go. They don't have no fight in them because the parents and the coaches, that's the culture that I'm talking about. It's a culture. You know what I mean? They already took the fight away from them because they themselves didn't have no fight. And they don't know. And most of them just be following. They followers. They just doing it because they heard.
Mm.
Oh, man, them dudes ain't robots over there. They athletes and young athletes at
Hey,
that.
that
So
out there though, that little adult out there, that
I wouldn't give a damn if I was the coach of
I,
the team.
now that's why I said coaching, right? Because on the sideline as a spectator, we can look and say,
Coaching leads to culture, by the way. That's the culture. But go
right.
ahead.
But as we sitting there, we can look and say, hey man, you need to make these adjustments,
Uh-huh.
right? We can do to make the hey, pull them back to
Well,
the
they would say that's easy to say from the sideline, but yeah.
sideline. But then you'll hear the parents go back and be like, hey, all week, instead of these coaches preparing these kids properly, proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. They had the kids tackling the air instead of tackling the other teammates. So you're not even preparing them mentally for the hits that they gonna take.
So what is the parents doing? Here's a message to the parents. You know what I used to do?
What's
I
that?
would go to the practices. I was at every practice I could be at.
They be at the practices, but the
Let,
coach, from what
but
my
let me,
from
go
what
ahead.
somebody told me, was that when they be speaking to the coach, and you know, I heard a lot of parents go talk to the coaches, but I heard the coach yell back at the parents and said, "Stop yelling at your kids. I'm the coach. Let me coach."
That's what he's supposed to do. He's right. because that wasn't my advice. See, when I went to the practices, he is the coach. Let him coach. If you want to coach, nigga, get a whistle and come out here. But when I used to be at the practices, it didn't matter what the coach was saying. I wasn't there to judge the coach. I was there to coach my son when we leave there on what we need to improve on. So even when I would travel and be out of town, I would have his mom film him. And I would be in Atlanta sitting next to you or whoever,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be sitting there watching practice. I'm in the studio, I'm wherever, everybody doing what they doing. I got her on the live camera watching practice. I'm not missing no practices. So it wasn't, and I didn't have to agree with the coaches because I agreed with myself. And
Right.
my son agreed with me. We had an agreement. And so if I saw something that I felt like the coaches were doing wrong, my son was doing wrong, the team was doing wrong, we went and worked on it together. But I was at the practice to see what we needed to improve on. So when it came time to play in the game, we would dominate. So I didn't have to put it into the coach's hands. I didn't have to argue with no coaches. I didn't have to debate with no coaches. I'm just about to make my son raw. And anytime that he step on the field, it's gonna be clear as day. So my advice to coaches or my advice to parents, and again, this is tapping into what I wanted to talk about anyway, is you have to create an environment within your home with your children and yourself that when they step outside of that, they're prepared. Like you said, they're prepared to do exactly what they need to do at the highest level without being affected negatively by individuals who are outside of your home, because the people outside of your home will have an impact in your child's life if they're not well prepared to do what they were taught and groomed to do. If you leave it up to other individuals, then the impact could be detrimental to what you're working to accomplish if you leave it up to people. If you just leave it up to the people outside of home, because they don't have the same outlook, care, or love for your child's future, whatever their goals may be, that you have. So the parents and the children, and the parents have to prepare the children to be ready to, step out and do what they need to do at the highest level.
But just like you said, coaching is culture.
It's a culture for
And
sure.
practice only an hour. You're gonna get an hour, maybe 2 hours of practice.
At least an hour and a half, but it's more
Or
like two,
maybe
3 hours.
so,
Yeah,
but that's 2 hours. Let's just give it 2 hours. That's 2 hours.
5 days a week though.
It don't stop there. You got to make sure the coach got a group. But that goes to your point. The coach got a group that he's going to show. This is the fundamentals. This is what we're working on as a unit.
Mm-hmm.
Job as the parent, continue the training off off the field and away from the coaches, because regardless on what's being implemented here, this is the structure. We can go to school all day. They can give you a book and tell you to read this lesson right here. It's for up to you to absorb the information and utilize it. And so that's the same thing. When you leave the practice, you still gotta make it a best practice, right? You still gotta take the information and say, hey, now get out there and go work on what you was just working on. Let's go out here and work on it together, because the coach can only show you so much. The coach is giving everybody a game plan and a guideline. Hey, I want y'all to do this, but we watching too. We getting coached at the same time. So we ain't got the whistle on out there, but we got the whistle at home. So when you leave there, take the same game plan and then, hey, this is what we gonna do. We gonna do it this way. And I like what you said. Proper preparation, baby.
And this too, the biggest lesson is not necessarily the X's and O's of a sport or whatever it may be. It's the life lessons. The better prepared that the parent is for life lessons, the better prepared that the child is for these life lessons by way of the parent teaching them, the easier it is to adapt to the life lessons that happen when you're outside of the home. So when you go into these sports or whatever it is, there's going to be life lessons. As a matter of fact, a lot of people say that. They be like, oh, the good thing about sports is it teaches you life lessons. It teaches you all these things. So there are life lessons that will be taught here, because you may run into a coach who may not be best suited and not creating the right culture. They might be playing daddy ball. Their son might be trash and they want to put their son on the field instead of putting the kids that really should be on the field. You know what I mean? So it's the life lessons that's more important than anything else. And when the better prepared the parent is for the life lessons, and the better they prepare the child for the life lessons, the more successful the parent and the child will be, whether it's sports, whether it's high school. Where people are falling short, they're not preparing them for life lessons. They're just leaving it up to a coach to coach them in some sports.
Hey, I'm gonna say something that's right. We preach best practices all the time, right?
Indeed.
But sports bring out the best bad practices. The best bad practices. And when I say that, I'm saying like when as the parent on the sideline, and I was watching it, Brett, and I was watching it, it was entertaining, but I was
Yeah.
like, this is horrible. The parents is cursing out the coaches, cursing at the coaches, yelling, they're about to
Oh, for
start.
sure. For sure.
That is a bad practice because when
Indeed.
your child on the field is, when something don't go your way, you curse their ass out, yell at them, cause a hissy fit, cause a temper tantrum, and if they don't, we get ready to fight because it ain't going the way we want it. That is a bad practice that parents adapt and adopt, and then they start putting it into use, and they don't understand your child is watching you. When you get out here and act the donkey, your kids gonna start acting the donkey.
They
And
do the same thing at schools too. They do
and
the same thing with the high schools. But
hello,
that's what I said. It's this the life lessons, and because the parents themselves have not prepared themselves for the moments that they're finding themselves in. They're just reacting to them.
hey,
They're just reacting to that's the new parents. They just reacting to these situations. Something happened and they're reacting. They haven't learned how to communicate ahead of time and prepare ahead of time. But if you are preparing yourself, and this is what I'm saying when I say life lessons, right? When we say life lessons, we're saying that we know that the world outside of your home, like they call it the real world, right? It's really real out here. There's stuff going on. And everybody's not going to always see things the way you see it. Everything's not going to always line up outside of the home the way you would want it to line up exactly how you want it. There's going to be some trials, some tribulations. There are going to be some ups and downs. There's going to be some disagreements. People are going to do things slightly different. People might not give you fair opportunities or chances or do things the way you think it should be done. But if you prepare yourself for how to be equipped to withstand all that and best navigate through that as a parent and your child, then when these things come, then you're in a position to do just that, navigate the best way. But if a person is being naive about the fact as a parent that they know there's disagreements outside the home, there's people that ain't gonna love you like that outside the home, and they just are being hopeful, they just hoping it goes this way, or they try to use their money. They try to pay their way into the getting the best education or getting their kid playing time, and then they get around people who got money too. So now, what do your money mean? Or they just think they go thug their way into it. Like whatever it is, you have to be best prepared and be ready to, as a parent, and prepare the child to be like, hey, when you get here, these are things that may happen because this is what human beings do. And if and when these things happen, this is exactly what we're going to do. We won't be surprised by people doing what we already know people are capable of doing. What we will do is this because this is how we operate if anyone ever does something like this. We will be mentally strong in these instances. We won't be weakened by another individual. Our spirit won't be broken. We don't have to fly off the hinge. You know what I mean? Now, if there's some complete disrespect, you got to do what you got to do. It is what it is. But and for the most part, you learn how to navigate and make yourself and your child mentally strong so that you can navigate and get to your goals. You can't just leave it up to happenstance for somebody else because they're just people.
you know what I found out, Pete? I'm gonna tell you. I was in the practice of doing a whole lot of bad practices until,
Shit, me too.
and I mean, we all are, right?
That's
But
how I know what the best practice is because
right,
the
I
opposite. Yeah.
it, I didn't see it. You know it. I'm gonna say it was my attitude, my temper. My temper was so bad. I would think, this is just me. I'm just angry. I get angry at things and I let my temper fly off the handle. Until I noticed that my son
Mm,
was reflecting my temper, and And I said, whoa.
You didn't like how it looked?
Not even a little bit. When I said, oh, where you get that? Oh, that's me. And I knew. And I said, oh, this is what I'm showing. I'm poisoning them. I was poisoning my kids with my temper.
Mm.
And then and guess what? They're sponges. They take everything that we give them. So we can give them the love. We can give them the, hey, do this. This is the best practices. But at the same time, it's a flip side to every coin. So giving them the bad things too. Giving them all the negative. And I seen my son's temper and I seen his face. And I said, oh, Lord, this is my son. And when I seen what I was doing, it hurt me. Like, damn, I gave you this. I didn't want to pass this off on you. But it passed off on me. And this is where coaching and culture comes together in ways that we didn't even think about thinking about it, right? Because our parents had to be rough on us. So they're probably rough on them. And it was
culture.
Right, that's the culture. And when you get to see it, and you trying to change, when you're in the process of healing and rebuilding yourself, and you see the negative impact that you have on somebody, especially the people that you love unconditionally, and you can see what you did, the poison that you put into them, right there is enough to drive you insane and say, damn, I better change, and I better change now. And
indeed,
I seen that, and I knew at that moment, yo, I'm not letting my temper get the best of me no more. You got it, because I gotta now try to undo
the culture.
Undo the culture. I gotta start pulling this back. I gotta start squeezing out the sponge. So what that mean? I gotta start rebuilding the relationships with my kids to make sure that I can undo and start pulling back all that negativity that I was unknowingly pouring into them.
Inadvertently, yeah. Being aware is a great thing. Self-reflection is a great thing. So, even being able to have the mind and the wisdom to self-reflect is a beautiful thing, because some people just sit in that and be like, well, it is what it is. This is how we do what we do. Not like, oh, whoa, nah, that was for me. That wasn't for me to pass on. Like, I was okay with myself being like that, but I'm not raising nobody else to be like that. The cycle ends here. Like, that has to break. Like, nah, I accepted that and I did that, but I wasn't expecting to pass that on. So that takes some self-reflection, awareness, maturity, growth, and all of those things, accountability, which for an individual to even do that means that that individual is blessed in more ways than one. They're blessed with wisdom, and they're blessed with, self-discipline, self-reflection, all that good stuff. So, in a nutshell, basically this conversation is about being able to have that self-awareness, self-reflection, and most importantly, in your home should be like a boot camp of preparation for going outside the home. How you conduct yourself in situations like, like a firefighter, and maybe even like police officers or whatever. They go through mock drills. So when the real thing happened, they're expected to perform accordingly, because all of the mock drills that they did. Nothing has happened yet, and it may not even ever happen. But if it did happen, they know CPR. They know to say, "Hey, you do this." They know if the fire is in the building, they know the best practices of how to enter the building safely, check the building, retrieve people. They know the best practices. It becomes a skill set. They're skilled. They're highly skilled. That's why they're the ones who would go into the building, not just a regular individual, because that regular individual would be putting themselves in danger because they don't have that skill set. So in your home, the parents have to prepare themselves and their children with these types of skill sets, these life lessons for when they go outside the home, so that the parents themselves are equipped and the children are equipped. Just like you training a firefighter or you training anything else. That's how you best navigate to stay online, to getting to your goals, walking into your purpose, because there's so many distractions and there's so many other opinions and ways of thinking out there that if you don't have your skill set finely tuned, it's easy to get off track. So making sure your skill set is finely tuned within the home is the responsibility of the parent and the learning of the child. And that should be the number one. It don't matter if it's for a sport. It don't matter if it's for, especially going into high school though, because them 4 years is very important.
You know, one thing for me, P, I'm gonna kind of go off topic a little bit, but I'm gonna be on topic.
It's all good.
One thing for me is I never want my kids to get to the point where they gotta feel like they have some disdain for me. You know, where they feel like
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to talk to me or they don't want to be around me. I don't want my kids to ever feel like I'm unapproachable. You know?
Indeed.
So for me, knowing where I messed up at, it's like, yo, I don't want my kids to ever feel like my dad was this person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where I can't come to them. And so the question that I ask parents, you know what I'm saying, especially a lot of, and I text you this, the absentee fathers in this day and age, you know what I'm saying? That,
Yeah.
do you want your kids to forgive you in the end? Because will they? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these dudes is running around here, and it's like I said, it's off topic. They go around here making these babies,
Indeed.
and then they cut out.
Mm-hmm.
You got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 baby mamas,
Mm-hmm.
and you ain't taking care of none of your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll come back and you will say, you know, you keeping the kids away from me. Nigga, first off, you got too many kids. Second off, nobody can't keep you away from your but you.
Mm.
Nigga, them your kids. Your kids don't drive to you.
Mm. Mm.
They don't, nigga, they kids.
Mm.
You're the parent. You laid down with the mama laid down with you. Y'all did y'all thing. It's your responsibility.
Indeed.
Get out there and handle. And then you dip out on them. So then when you start finding out your kids is having problems, and you start, well, what's she doing over there? She's brainwashing them. She's poisoning them, or vice versa. He over there poisoning them kids and turning me. No, motherfucker, do your part.
Be present. Be present.
Be present. Show up and show out, because then guess what? Your kid got them bad behavior, and you're inadvertently pouring in negative traits on them. What they learning from you? They learning how to not be present. They learning how not to be there. They learning how to say fuck it. They learning the bad habits, the bad practices that you're teaching, even though you're like, hey, I ain't even there to teach it. That's
Well,
bad. Just talk.
well, shit, you know, not that things cannot be corrected and turned around, because that's what you were talking about. And that's why I said that's wisdom, right? Mm-hmm. Now you're talking about the other side of it, where people are choosing to not be wise. They're just continuously doing that same thing, whatever it is. You said when you saw a reflection in your son, you're like, oh, no, that ain't gonna work. But if a person continuously has multiple baby mamas or multiple baby daddies and continues to have that, that is a bad practice in itself. Like you said, you have too many damn kids, right? So if a person does that, then they're not normally, right, in a position to be in the lives of these lives that they're creating, because they're not even doing anything with intention. They're just bouncing around doing whatever. So for that person to turn around to then be responsible or wise would is almost they would have to make a complete, like they would have to turn their life around in order to do that, because the reason that they are in the situations that they're finding themselves in, which is basically what you were saying, is because of the decisions they're making. So in order to change that, they would have to make different decisions. They would have to change their behavior. But if they are not even concerned about doing so, then what people really just doing is talking. People just be talking. They be talking to people who will listen to the bullshit. They'll say something to somebody like, man, they keeping me away from the kids. And they'll be like, yeah, man, she keeping you. That's crazy. She keeping you from the kids. Because people will talk to people who listen to their bullshit. But see, they couldn't talk to a person like you or I with the bullshit, because you would be like, hold on, bro, what?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? But they wouldn't surround themselves around individuals like you and I, because we not go help them. We not go feed the fuel to the bullshit that they want to keep running with. You know what I'm saying? So It's not that they lack understanding, they just don't want to understand. So you have those two different individuals. You have people who don't want to be wise, who don't want to understand, and then you have individuals who are capable and ready to do the work. Like, oh, whoa, I see an area of improvement in my life. I'm ready to work on that now.
You know,
Versus,
I'm
I
petty.
don't give a fuck.
I'm petty. If I see a dude who not doing for his kids, right? I'm not gonna try to check you about your shit. I'm gonna do something more petty. I'm gonna do something with your kids in front of you.
This dude.
I'm gonna do. Hey, y'all want to go to the movies? Come on, I got you. Oh, don't worry about it. Go get some cake. I'm gonna do shit in front of you. I'm gonna make you look different.
This dude is crazy.
I'm a man. I got nigga. You don't want to do for yours. I'm gonna do for him and show you, nigga, what you supposed to do. Sometimes it's better than show you. I can show you better than I can tell you.
Indeed.
You gonna get in your feelings about it. But if I show you, then you gonna when your son look at me like, Daddy, can I get some ice cream? If you say you ain't got it, I'm gonna pull out a 5 and give it to him. Go get you some ice cream, little man. Now.
Indeed. And sometimes that reflection might come back. He say, my son told me in so many words I wasn't his favorite parent. Not in a disrespectful way, but I was always on and not chill. Well, he say, excellent. That wasn't my job. You know, somebody has to take on the role of being structured and holding people to structure because they understand that structure is required again when you go outside of this home. See, a lot of parents want to want to structure everything for their children and paint this picture and like it's all good. We got you, and then they send the kids outside of the structure and that structure doesn't hold up because they haven't prepared them for what the structures outside the home look like. So when you're in the home teaching structure, what you're doing is teaching a discipline that's supposed to carry over how you carry yourself when I'm not around. How you carry yourself when it's just you. How are you supposed to stand up on your own 10 toes? How do you keep your shoulders square, as my mom would say? Like, who are you as a young man, as a young woman, when you have to make decisions outside the home? This structure here is supposed to be a template for how we carry when we go into other areas, other arenas. And a lot of parents think that the structure is just, oh, I love them here at the house. But nobody gives a fuck about your love that you have for your child out the house when they step outside of the house. They
No.
teachers don't give a fuck. They coaches don't give a fuck. And if you think that they do because they smile when you talk to them, you would be a fool.
Uh,
People smile with no give a fuck at all. They just smiling because it's a reaction. But who they really are and what they really want to do will show up when they take action, not just reacting by smiling. But the actions that they take when given a consistent opportunity to take actions. And this is where detrimental things happen to parents and their children because they didn't put false hope in individuals who don't give a fuck about them. They didn't have no real structure.
hey, let me ask you. We talk about the dads being some bullshit, but do moms get passes just because they was the sole provider? Like, we all grow up with a lot of us. We grow up with our mom, but and she was the sole provider. That mean that we do the pass. You know what I'm saying?
No. Hell
Like,
no.
because moms they can be bad parents too. Like sometimes it's like pops, you ain't even gotta. Sometimes you don't even gotta do much, nigga. Just be present and show up because maybe just
He's a better person than the mother that's there.
man, and maybe they just like, yo, dad, come get me for, and and you don't even take the time, man. Be present, show ups. What Kendrick Lamar? Sometimes you just gotta pop out and show niggas, man. Pop out and show your kid that what a real man looks like or a real woman looks like, because nobody gets no passing it. It's bad parents on both sides. The mom
People,
can be a bad parent and have sole custody, but your kids can be living in turmoil and turbulence.
people
Or
are people.
or you can be a bad parent and the mama can be trying to like, yo, I'm not gonna say nothing bad about your daddy because I don't want you to think that I'm gonna be this person, but she harboring all these ill will feelings towards you, and now your kids, the kids already connected to her on another level anyway. So now they feeling that moms ain't really saying nothing, but they can see
the energy. Yeah.
and now, man, listen, y'all.
But that would be a broken home, though. That
Right.
wouldn't be structure.
It's time for people. Listen, if y'all not gonna do right by y'all kids, stop having kids.
I mean, shit. That was.
That's the right answer. Don't have no kids if you don't plan on taking.
So
If you
no. So you got to say don't have sex, because
I
like
was
my mom say, most people. And I was in this thing, and this OG dude said it, but I heard my mom say it all the time. Side effect of sex, and then but I heard this OG dude say that he you know when he talked to like the high school kids and stuff, they don't realize that he said people don't even think about this, that every time that they have sex with somebody, there's a opportunity that they can have a child.
right.
So people are not thinking about that. They're just thinking about sex, and then the child is not a child that someone is ready to or even considering raising. They're just a side effect of sex. It's something that happened because of the action that these two people took. And it doesn't mean we was talking off camera about something that I'm not going to talk about right now. That would be no cap uncut. But
Uncut.
but but in situations like some of the situations where we was talking about on no cap uncut, you
Uncut.
have you have where things could happen where a motherfucker can get a phone call like, oh, so and so is pregnant, and it's people like, whose is it? Oh, ain't mine. Woo!
What movie was that? Don't be a Mr.
Don't
South.
be a menace. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. And it was like, so did she get pregnant? And everybody looked, and
Everybody.
then it was like, he said it was his. They was like, here you go, fool. I mean, here you
Yeah.
go, man.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
You know, so these, unfortunately, as we making light of it, though, it's a real thing that a lot of these broken homes, dysfunctional homes, is really because nobody is or was ever a parent. They just had sex.
20 minutes of pleasure.
Shit, if that.
If that. You fuck around with me 5 minutes. 5 minutes of pleasure gonna give you 20 years of hell. Because if you ain't ready for it, man, you got to be. A child is a reflection of you. Just because you can nut in somebody and you can push out a baby and you can whatever, don't mean you ready to be a parent. And some of y'all know that y'all horrible parents and keep on having kids.
Now that's crazy.
You know you horrible.
Do you know why though? You
Huh?
want to know why some people do that? And it's gonna sound crazy. Why be women that like or have multiple baby dads and keep having kids? You want to know why some women do that?
About that.
And people, but women in that position, huh?
Because they lonely and they want to keep a nigga.
But no, not only want to keep a man, they want to keep a purpose in their life, and the raising the children is the purpose in their life. However, they raise them.
Oh, they want to feel
But
love.
yes, because without the children in the home, what are they? Who are they?
Ran through. She's a runner. She's a track star.
And when I heard that song, I'm like, they do not know what runner mean, man. They singing and it's just like, that's not.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know what a runner is, but no, for real. It'd be women who continuously have babies, and everybody be like confused, like, "Hey, why does she keep having babies? This is her this
Nah,
gives her."
but on her. Cause nigga, why you still running up in there like that?
No, I'm saying though, if a woman wanna come on, cuz
Nah,
if a woman wanna give her, if she wanna have sex, she can find somebody.
right.
She can find somebody.
Hey,
So,
but
but
niggas
a
be
lot of these women get their
trying
purpose
to
through
trap this.
raising their kids.
I mean, so men be trying to trap these women too. You know,
Yeah.
they oh man, she look hella good. I'm finna get her pregnant, man. I finna go. I did my
Oh,
thing.
for sure. I know somebody. My partner told me. My partner told me he knocked down a couple, like two different celebrity women. I ain't gonna say their name, right? And I ain't gonna say my partner name, but one of them. he purposely was trying to get pregnant, and he was like, it just didn't work. But he was
Hey,
trying. So to your point, yes, but I wasn't talking about trapping men. I was just saying that some women are okay having, bruh. Have you ever? All right, answer this question. And it's some dudes who have had this. Have you ever had a woman call you and say, I just want to have a baby with you. You don't, and you, I don't want to have. We don't have to be in like a relationship. I just want to have a baby with you, and then you just be there for the kid. However you gonna be there, like when it's parties and birthday parties and bar mitzvahs. But
separate.
I want you. So that's what I'm saying. She's telling you you can do whatever you want in your life. I just want to have a kid with you because I know that you're gonna
You know,
be
February,
present enough in the kid life.
we gonna have a baby. My baby gonna have them eyes. Your baby gonna have this temper. Are
But
you gonna
you
do that?
but I'm saying that's a real thing. She's not thinking about having a relationship or a home. She just picking a dude as a live sperm donor, which sounds crazy. But anyway,
Hey, niggas be want to be the sperm donors.
I'm not raising my hand for that.
Yeah, I mean that's what they do. Niggas be out here sperm doning, and pushing like you gonna push the line and until the line push back. Well, my sister like to say, everybody think it's a game until you put it on two players.
Indeed.
Nigga, everybody pull out that extra control, niggas start looking crazy. But the point of the story is, man, don't be out here making these kids if you ain't gonna raise them, because that's part of the culture that we in right now, man. Our kids need guidance. They need guidance. They need substance, not just from the outside world, but from the inside world. And everything starts at home with you. And before you can even create a home, you got to make sure that you at home in you. Make sure that
Indeed.
is at peace with you and that you whatever responsibility come with whatever lady or man y'all choose to lay down with. Because if y'all doing it unprotected, it's a possibility that
For sure.
you can have a child with this person. And if you can have a child with this person, is this the person that you want to have a child with? And do this person have some other kids that this person is not raising and doing? It's the parents, it's the grandparents raising the kids. It's the kids up in the system who talk to the kids. Hey, how you like me? I am
This dude
the
interviewing the kids.
worker in this motherfucker. Whatever you gotta do before you, because listen, your penis and your coochie is signing contracts. You signing contracts. Hey, if you come inside me,
This dude.
if you leave it inside me, right? You gon' you gonna raise it. You gonna help me with it, and in the process. And don't ask the shit. Don't ask the shit while you in the middle of the process. When you in the middle of making it, don't ask the question. Are you gonna be here with me? Nobody asks that. The shit be like, you having my baby? Hell yeah, good. Then you had this baby, and then the nigga gone, or find out she crazy as hell, and I don't want this baby no more.
Oh shit.
Hey, sorry, Jack. Black, no take backs. That's you. Yeah, y'all stuck. In the words of the porn stars, we fucked.
What? So yeah, but nah, definitely. You know, being a parent and preparing your kids for school, high school, sports, and things outside of the home is definitely important. And you can't do that if you're not even in a position to be a parent. You're just out here creating side effects of sex. That's not even opportunity. But for the individuals who are willing to do the work on themselves first and foremost, and then preparing their kids, just make sure that you're not being naive about what is required to best prepare your kid for outside the home. It's not just money, it's not just love, it's actually developing a skill set and preparing the mindset of the individual, yourself, and the child for the outside world in many different ways, especially in ways that pertain to you achieving your goal. And if you're not doing that, you're going to have a lot more hurdles, and the hurdles are going to feel a lot more drastic to get over or under because or go around because you're pretending as if you don't know that the hurdles exist, as opposed to knowing that there are hurdles that are out there and like, oh, this is how you hurdle.
Hey, you ever thought about some underlying parenting, right? Little guidelines, little rules and regulations that we don't think about that's under here. and parents, as a parent, you never stop. We said coaching and culture.
Yeah, for
Or
sure.
parenting,
Building the culture.
the
Yeah.
coaching is culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And think about this. You never stop learning how to be a parent. Shit changes every day. So a lot of us get stuck in this way. We got to learn how to be coachable.
Indeed.
As so, what they say, you got to be teachable.
Mm-hmm.
You don't teach somebody, you got to be teachable. You got to be coachable. Your kids, they gonna teach you some shit too.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids gonna be teaching you stuff every day. They teach you the new TikTok dance. They teach you how to work things you don't know how they teach you. You got to be coachable because your kids will tell you how they learn too. They tell you how to talk to them, right? And not saying that you gotta listen, but sometimes it's good to hear them because everybody can receive information differently.
Indeed.
If you got to just be able to listen to your kids, be able to just be coachable, just be teachable. It's okay to feel like you got the answers and know and go off experiences that you went through, but shit, times change. We ain't the same group of people. We the same people, but we so much more evolved than we was 20 years ago and 40 years ago.
Indeed.
When we used to go to junior high school, what we was using? Floppy disks, Control Alt Delete and
Yeah.
E just to move the keyboard. Now we ain't even got to talk to we can just talk and the computer move and do things. We ain't even got to keypad. So be coachable, be teachable, and be open, but at the same time be responsible. Be respectful. Teach your kids to be responsible. Teach your kids to be respectful. Teach your kids to be stand-up people.
Indeed.
Hey P, you know what my trivia question was for today?
What is that?
Who was the most influential TV dad?
Mm.
John Amos, rest in peace.
They
Hey,
probably all dead. Everybody you finna name probably, but go ahead.
rest in peace. Bill Cosby, he
No,
ain't dead.
start again. Start again, because I might have cut you
John
off.
Amos,
Uh-huh.
that's Good Times.
Yeah.
James Evans.
Hate that
Phil
show.
Avery, James Avery, I'm sorry. Uncle Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Cosby, the Huxtable,
Mm-hmm.
and my other one was Anthony Anderson. Black.
I was about to say, I know this gonna sound, all of them were fathers,
Right.
right? You can take some away from all of them. You talk about, I hated the show, Good Times, to be honest with you. I never liked that show. I hate the goddamn song and all that. But anyway, the father figure of being strong inside the home and carrying that outside the home is kind of what I was talking about earlier, like building a structure and being that structure and all that. So he definitely, um, you know, definitely a strong figure. When you think of him, you think of a strong figure. Um, I I gotta give props to Uncle Phil though, and this is why. Uncle Phil did something kind of like what you did, what we're talking about, and you did, and you've done to a certain extent in your life. Uncle Phil wasn't the father of every child he was parenting.
Right.
He had his children, and then he brought in another child, which wasn't his, but raised him as his own.
Hmm.
Right? Will was not his child, but he brought him in and raised him and treated him no different than his own, and may in many circumstances gave him more attention because of what he needed, because he wasn't there from day one to be raised like he raised his own children. So he had to, and what you said, he had to learn and adapt, right? Because Will was a little bit different. Will was supposed to be the little street dude and whoop and all that. So he had to learn how to come out of his corny little bubble that they was in and learn how to parent and relate to this kid that he loved and had unconditional love for, and be his father
Hmm. Hmm.
without treating him any differently. That's big, a big thing to do. So I kind of lean towards him for that right there.
I
Um,
Anthony Anderson. I give it to
but
all.
But I know I'm taking a long time.
Go ahead.
But when you said Anthony Anderson, it almost threw all that out the window for me, because Anthony Anderson is kind of all that in one, and it's modern time, right? And so he's adapted. He can transcend from the old school to the new school and everything in between, be relatable, be related to, and still give you some of that old school, but also be like a Cosby where his family is well off and situated, but still have the structure and the foundation of a. So when you, that's why I laughed when you said that, because he kind of entails all of that in one.
That's why I threw him in there, because I knew when I played James Evans, I knew everybody was gonna go good times, but that ain't the world we live in these days. That's us growing up, but we don't raise our kids like that. Our parenting more days is more similar to Anthony Anderson, but
because you got to be able to whoop ass without whooping ass.
And you still got to be able to whoop ass.
And you still got to be able to whoop ass. And that's what. But see, back in the day, James Evans you just whoop some ass.
And that wasn't the right answer. But that's the approach that got us where we are now, where a lot of us are going through these healing processes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Anthony Anderson, he understands the ass whooping, the good of it, but he understands how to bridge the gap and say, okay, we're gonna have some respect, but
Anthony Anderson,
and all this is a reflection of, this is TV, but you can reflect it into real life.
Anthony Anderson, not only did he do the parenting thing, but if you ever watch, he wasn't afraid to let his emotions out on the show. When he was sad, when he was going through his heartbreaks and things like that, he wasn't afraid
to communicate.
Yeah,
part of that was his woman, though.
You can see him cry. Hey man, behind every good king is a good queen.
You know, that was his woman. Yeah.
But I was going to ask this, and I didn't want to get past this because lately I've been getting this a lot. P, how do you break up with somebody?
Before we get out of here, how do you break up with somebody? You tell me. I don't know. How do you break up with somebody? You just you if you're done, you're done.
Right. That's not the answer. But I got you.
You text them.
A lot of people do.
Nah, go ahead.
When we start getting into these relationships, a lot of times we've been talking about making these babies and things like that. Those be quick microwave, quickies.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And start getting the girls that we like or the men that we like or whatever. We start taking our time. We progress. The sex might come slower. We go on dates. We get to know one another. We spend time getting to build our relationship and our foundation and make it strong.
Yeah.
And I like to call it the soul cooking, the soul food cooking. You take your time. If you're hungry right now, you want a meal, you can go to run to McDonald's, get you a Happy Meal, burger, whatever. Be done in 5 minutes. It might fill you up for the minute, a quickie. It'll fill you up for the minute, but it holds no substance. It holds no value. Mm-hmm. By the time you eat it, you'll be hungry again. You can eat 3 cheeseburgers and you can still eat dinner. Mm-hmm. But at home, when you cook one burger, the right burger, you might not want to eat for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. It's the substance that you put in your food, the value of it.
Yeah.
So we take our time with it. But we don't use that same approach when we're breaking up with somebody or we ending it with somebody. When we end it with somebody, we go with the microwave approach immediately, and that's the only approach we think.
To rip the Band-Aid off.
I'm going to text you. I'm cutting it off. Don't call me no more. Fuck you. This, that, and the third.
Yeah.
We got to use the same approach. We got to use the same slow cook approach. Here's the thing. In breaking up with somebody, you put your time and your effort into building this relationship and putting your energy into it and putting your love and everything that you got into this relationship to build it, to make it work. You have to start slowly pulling those things back. The same speed you was going up. And when you drive trucks, one thing that they teach you when you driving trucks is whatever speed you go up the hill at, it's the same speed you go down the hill at. So if you go up the hill in first gear, you go in first gear.
George Jefferson.
He ain't really had no kids though. You didn't really see his daughter like that. But you gotta pull your energy back and you gotta break it with somebody slowly. Don't just rush it, because if you rush it, you're gonna go right back into the same. You're gonna rush right back into the same. You're gonna miss them. You get the emotions and all that things like that. But slowly start. Let me stop talking so much. Let me pull back some of this energy a little bit. Let me not call you as much. Let me not respond as much. Let me, you got to start slowly pulling your energy back. And if you was giving 100%, start giving 90. When you get through 90, you get 80. What you finna say?
Huh?
What you finna say?
Oh, remember your thought. I was about to say, so what you're saying when you ask the question really is not how you break up with somebody for them. You're talking about how do you break up with somebody for you.
Bingo. Hello.
You're talking about for yourself so that you don't relapse, so that you don't feel like you leave the door open for them to keep creeping back in when you know it's a toxic situation that you need to really get away from. The issue that people have and why the door keeps being open is because they left too quickly and they didn't allow themselves the time they need to leave. Like when a person, like they didn't get a 2 weeks notice. Like when a person leaves their job, they got to give a 2 weeks notice. The reason is because the job needs time to prepare to fulfill and replace this person, right? And so what you're saying is, how do you break up with someone for you? I think when most people hear how do you break up with someone, they're thinking about the other person. And in general, most people are thinking about the other person. So what's the best practices to break up with someone for yourself so that you don't keep finding yourself in a revolving toxic relationship that you know you should be pulling away from, but for some reason you can't seem to pull away from it. The reason is you're trying to pull away too quick and you didn't give yourself enough time to dwindle down, like coming up from deep sea. You got to come up level at a time and pause and come up level at a time and pause so your damn head don't explode, or you have to go back down in a rush so your head don't explode. So coming up out of the relationship, how did you come up out of it best for you? And then you start pulling back this a little at a time and that a little at a time. And then by the time it's time to break up with this person, they don't even really know necessarily what has occurred. You have just prepared yourself not for it to reoccur.
You poured all your energy back slowly, but slowly. Everything you poured in, you didn't pour it back. So when you cut it off and it's done, it's done. That's how you heal. That's how you reveal, and that's how you conceal. And what I mean, you heal yourself, you reveal the toxicity that was there, and you can see all your energy back for you. And you let them motherfuckers have theirs. I don't want it no more. And let it ride.
So
That's
for any individual that has had issues breaking up with people, for any individuals that are currently figuring out how they break up with this person because they tried once or twice, think about yourself and the fact of what you need to do, how you need to feel, and how you need to navigate through the process. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you got to take forever and ever and ever and ever, but this is definitely a practice that could work for you if you've been doing it the other way and it ain't worked, right? If you, because there's a lot of people who break up to make up. That's all they do. So you got to figure out how to actually, if you really want to break up, do that for yourself, not how do you break up with the person for them. That was the real question. That was a good question.
and that was cold right there. That was a good ass answer.
Indeed.
I can't
Indeed, indeed,
see the two thumbs.
indeed.
Hey, listen, y'all, we finna get up out of here. But we might be back on Wednesday or Sunday. Wednesday or Sunday. Y'all know we somewhere between there. I ain't gonna promise y'all nothing, but we gonna be back.
Yeah, we got a quick one to end today. We kept it at an hour today, quick and easy. But we definitely want to get on so we can stay consistent. Uh, Wednesday, we shall be back. Now, don't forget we can do Wednesday early, so we can do early my time, midday your time, because I'll be having them gaps, and we'll just go live from the studio. But either way, make sure y'all are subscribed so that when we go live that you get the alert that we go on live, and just be looking out every Sunday and Wednesday in general. For right now, we will add more days, but for right now, look out every Sunday and Wednesday because more than likely we will be going live. And please tell a friend to tell a friend to chime in,
Like,
subscribe, and
subscribe.
give us content that y'all want us to talk about because we obviously ain't going nowhere but up, and we want to make sure that we bringing everybody that's listening with us. You hear you?
All right, man. Listen. And go Raiders. Rest in peace to all y'all that passed away. All the ones that passed away. This John Amos, Dikembe Mutombo, Pete Rose, the lady from Harry Potter. It's been so many people passing away. The little 25-year-old lady from TikTok. I don't even know her name. Just, hey, value life, man. Life is short, man. So hug your loved ones, kiss the babies, like Double R would say. You know what I'm saying, man? And man, as always, man, stay true to yourself, man, and watch no cap. Ooh. Hey,
Indeed.
that was my little outro right there. Hello.
Indeed. We will see you on the next one, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. And make sure y'all come back and watch the clips. And we will be back on Wednesday. So look out for us on Wednesday. All right, man. We'll holler at y'all in a minute.
In a minute, Pete.